maximize problem to solve করব। প্রবলেমটা হচ্ছে maximize z equals to 2x1 plus 4x2 plus x3 plus x4 subject to x1 plus 3x2 plus x4 less than equals to 4, 2x1 plus x2 less than equals to 3, x2 plus x3 plus x4 less than equals to 3, subject to x1, x2, x3, x4 greater than or equals to 0. So basically, while solving this problem using simplex method, we have to first look the method which we are going to use. It is not for maximization problems. We have to be specific about the maximization problem along with all this less than equals to condition. Okay, so now what is my first target? I have to convert this all less than equals to equals to. So if I want to convert all this less than equals to equals to, what I can able to do, I have my maximization of z can be written like 2x1 plus 4x2 plus x3 plus x4, right? And subject to conditions are x1 plus 3x2 plus 0 into x3 plus x4 plus I have added one variable x5 and that variable is called slack variable. Okay, and this is equals to 4. So this is the one thing. Next thing is like 2x1 plus x2 plus 0 into x3 plus 0 into x4 plus 0 into x5 plus x6. We need some another variable x6. Okay, so that is equals to 3, right? And for this one, for the last equation, we have 0 into x1 plus 0 into x1 into 1 into x2 plus 1 into x3 plus 1 into x4 plus 0 into x5 plus 0 into x6 plus x7, that is equals to 3. So this is the conversion of the equation. That is how we converted our equation to this equality. So this is my target, to convert this equation to equality. Okay, so now after doing this thing, we have to rewrite our simplex table. Now you can be able to see how many variables are there. Total 7 variables are there. So if 7 variables are there, we have to add another variable 0 into x5, 0 into x6 plus 0 into x7 over there, because I have to convert my equation. Okay, so now while writing down the simplex table, what I am going to write down, so this is my basis, right? Next I have C, B, next I have my B, then I have to write down all the variables. I have x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6 and x7. These are all the variables, and corresponding to that, I know what, upon this B I am going to write down C actually given by, so it's difficult to find out the ratio. Actually this C is given by the coefficient of the objective function. So what are the coefficient of the objective function? Look at x1, the coefficient of this objective function is 2. Look at this one, it is 4. Look at this one, it is 1. Look at this one, it is 1. Then this is 0, 0 and 0. Okay, now I have to write down my all the values. So this line is not required. So if I have to write down all the coefficient over there, look at the first equation. First equation is like 4, b value is 4. So b value is 4, 3 and 3. I have written down them. Now look at the coefficient of x1. It is 1, this is 3, this one is 0, this one is 1, this one is 1, this one is 0, and this one is 0, right? Look at the next one. It is 2, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Look at the next one. It is like 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. So this is my table. These are the variables. Now if you look over here, you can able to see two things. So this is the x5. This actually gives us the values of the first basis vector. So first basis vector is denoted by x5. So my basis vector is x5. Second one is 0, 1, 0. So simply it will be x6, and third one is 0, 0, 1. It is x7, right? And corresponding to that basis values, the values of the vectors are 0, 0, and 0, right? Now next step, we have to calculate our zj minus cj. So we need to understand the stopping criteria. So this actually zj minus cj will give us the stopping criteria, and for this maximization problem, what we need to have that all the values greater than or equals to 0 for the stopping criteria, right? So now if I want to calculate this value, you can see this is a 0 vector. So what you have to do, you have to take the dot product of this cb with x1. If you take the dot product of cb and x1, this actually gives you 0 value. So the zj value will become cbxj. So you know what, all this zj is nothing but, I am going to write it over there, all this zj is nothing but cbxj, right? cb dot xj. So cb basis cb and x1. cb x1 dot product 0 vector is 0. Then zj minus cj. cj value is c1 is 2. So simply it will become minus 2. Next one will become minus 4. Similarly, you are multiplying this with 0. So always you are going to get 0. This will become minus 1. This will become minus 1. Then 0, 0, and 0. Okay. So now from here, first of all, you have to find out the minimum of all these zj minus cj. So to find out all minimum of all these zj minus cj, we can see that minus 4 is the minimum. So from here, we can able to understand that corresponding to the minus 4, the variable is x2. So x2 will enter into the system. So x2 will enter into the basis, right? To find out that what value we are going to get, or which one will replace, like x2 will incorporate into the basis. So number of basis variable is 3. So one variable must leave the domain, leave the basis. So to find out the ratio, you have to find out the ratio. So to find out the ratio, I am just going to show you over there, ratio. So ratio means what you have to do? This ratio means you have to divide this b by this. So 4 by 3. Next one is 3 by 1, that is 3. And next one is 3 by 1, 3. So what I am going to get? I am going to get 4 by 3, 3 by 1, and 3 by 1. So instead of these positive values, if you get something negative over there, just imagine that you got minus 2, you got minus 1, you got minus 1 of this. So in that case, the ratio will not be calculated. Okay, or else if you get 0 over there, then also the ratio will not be calculated. So next, which one is the minimum value? This one is 3, this one is 3, and this one is 1 point something. So this one is minimum. So I am going to select this x5 variable. So from here, we can able to understand that our x5 will leave the domain. Okay. So now, you know what? You know this is my key row, and this one is my key column, and this 3 is said to be my key element, right? So now in the next step, what we are going to do? I am going to draw the graph again. So while drawing this, we have to rewrite it in the form of this one is 3. So this one key element is 3. So we have to divide this whole row by this key element while writing it down the next one. So simply this basis and CB, leave it. So you have to divide the whole thing by 3. So simply this will become 4 by 3. Right? The first thing will become 1 by 3. The next one will become 1. The next will become 0. Next one will become 1 by 3. Next one will become 1 by 3, 0, and 0. Understand? So this is my first row. Now I know what x5, instead of x5, which one will enter? X2. So instead of x5, I'm just going to write down x2 over there, right? And x6 and x7 remains same, right? So corresponding to the x2, the basis variable value is like 4. So simply this will be 4 over there. 4 must be written over there. Okay. And these two cases, if you look at over there, x6 and x7, both of them are 0, 0. So both of them are 0, 0. So now we have to complete the table. So to complete the table, what we have to do? Look here. So already I know what x2 gives me the first vector of the basis, that means 1 0 0. So simply this is x2 must become 1 0 0. I can able to write it like this way. x6 gives me the second basis vector, so that must be 0 1 0, and x7 gives me the third vector, so that must be 0 0 1. So already I have filled this position. Now I have to go for this position. So to find out this position, what we are going to do? We are going to use this formula. Look, this is the old value. Old value was 3. So 3 was the old value minus corresponding key row element. Corresponding key row element is 4 into corresponding key column element. Key column element is 1. And for key element is 3. So key element is 3. So what I am going to get? 3 minus 4 by 3. That is actually 5 by 3. That is what I am going to get. So simply this position will become 5 by 3. Now look at this position. If you got 2 over there, 2 minus corresponding key row element is 1 into corresponding key column element is 1 divided by key element is 3. So simply what I got? 2 minus 1 by 3, that is 5 by 3. So I got 5 by 3 again, right? Now I have to calculate this 0 position. So earlier it was 0. So look here, it was 0 minus, look at the corresponding key row element, it is 0. Key column element, it is 1 divided by 3, it remains 0. Next one is, you can able to see next this vector, you can able to see this one is nothing but 0. So 0 minus 1 is the corresponding key column value and 1 is the corresponding key row value, right? Divided by key element is 3. So simply this will become minus 1 by 3. Now look at this 0 value. If you look at this 0 value, this 0 will become, look, 0 minus 1 into 1 is the corresponding key column element, 1 is the corresponding key row element, so 1 into 1. So 0 minus 1 into 1 by 3. So again it will become minus 1 by 3, right? Now we have to calculate the last row. If we are going to calculate the last row, it will be nothing but, look at here, this is 3. 3 is the old value and corresponding key row element is 4 and corresponding key column element is 1. So 3 minus 4 into 1 by 3. So 3 minus 4 by 3. So this one is again 5 by 3. Right? Now look at this 0. So 0 minus corresponding key row is 1. Corresponding key column is again 1 divided by 3. So simply this will become minus 1 by 3. Right? Now I have to find out this value 1. So 1, if you look at this 1, you can able to see 1 minus 0 is the corresponding key row value, corresponding key column value is 1, so 0 into 1, so 1 minus 0 into 1 by 3. Okay now, so it will simply become 1. Next one is like 1 minus 1 into 1 by 1 is the corresponding key row, 1 is corresponding key column divided by 3, so 1 minus 1 by 3, that is 2 by 3, right? And the next one is like, earlier it was 0, so 0 minus 1 into 1, 1 into 1 by 3, so simply it will become minus 1 by 3. So next step, we have to find out, all Zj minus Cj. If we got all Zj minus Cj positive, then we can stop over there, right? If our all Zj minus Cj is not positive, then we have to go for the next step. So if I want to find out Zj minus Cj, now look here, now this vector is non-zero. So if this vector is non-zero, so then you can able to understand, say dot product means component wise multiplication. So 4 must be multiplied by 1 by 3. So it will become 4 by 3 plus 0 into 5 by 3, that is 0, plus 0 into minus 1 by 3 is 0. So simply it will become 4 by 3 minus 2. So 4 by 3 minus 2 means, so it will become 2 by 3 minus, simply this will become minus 2 by 3. Now look here, this one if you have seen 4 minus 4, that will give you 0. Next one is already 0, so this gives you 1. Okay na? So not this 4, you don't need never consider this 4, always consider this 4. This is your Cj values, right? Not this is Zj minus Cj value. So remember that while considering this you have to consider Cj's are from here. Next one is, so that's why you can see 4 into 0, 0, 0 into 0, 0, 0 into 1, 0. So total 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0 minus 1. So simply that gives me minus 1 over there. Now look at the next one. 4 into 1 by 3, then 0 plus 0 plus 0. So 4 into 1 by 3 means 4 by 3 minus 1, that gives you 1 by 3, right? Next one is like 4 by 3 minus 0, so that gives you 4 by 3. Next one is 0 and next one is 0. So you can able to see which one is the minimum value. Minimum value is minus 1. Minimum value is minus 1. So if minus 1 is the minimum value, so this will enter into the system, right? This will enter into the system, which one? X3, right? Now we have to find out the ratio. So now you can able to see, here I got 0. So 4 by 3 by 0, no ratio. Again I got 0, so no ratio, right? Here we got what? 5 by 3 by 1. So only 5 by 3. So only one option is there. So this is the option. So who will leave the domain? So basically, if you look here, you can able to understand x7 is the vector. So x7 will leave the domain. X7 will leave the domain and so basically you can able to understand x7 leave the domain, and instead of that x7, which one will enter? X3 will enter into the system. So now this x2 and x6 remain fixed. X2 and x6 remain fixed. So x2 will be over there, x6 will be over there, and instead of that x7, which one will enter? X3. So simply this will become x3. If this will become x3, now what I have done, you know what? So next step what I have to do, I know already x2 coefficient. So basically you can able to understand, instead of that x7, x3 enters into the domain. So x3 now enters into the domain. So corresponding to that x2, the value is 4. You can able to see it from here. So value is 4. Corresponding to the x6, the value is 0, right? Corresponding to this x3, the value is 1. So simply this will become 1, right? Now you know what? You have to divide all the row by the key element. You have to divide the whole row by key element. So if I am going to divide the whole row by key element, I am going to get 5 by 3 because I have 1 as a key element, right? Next one will be like minus 1 by 3. Next one will be 0, next one will be 1, 2 by 3, minus 1 by 3, 0 and 1. Understand? Okay now. So now if I want to, now I have to find out this value. So this is 5 by 3, right? This one is 5 by 3. So this is the old value. So old value is 5 by 3. So old value is 5 by 3 minus corresponding key row element is 5 by 3 into corresponding key column element is 0 divided by 1. So simply it remains like 5 by 3. Understand? So 5 by 3 minus 5 by 3, 5 by 3 minus 5 by 3 into 0 divided by 1. So this gives me 0. So actually every value of the thing will become same, like 4 by 3. If you look at over there 4 by 3. So 4 by 3 minus 5 by 3 into 0. So 5 by 3 into 0 means 0 divided by 1. So it is 0. So this becomes 4 by 3. Similarly look at here 1 by 3. If you look at 1 by 3, the value is minus 1 by 3 into corresponding value is 0. So simply it will become 1 by 3. Right? This will become 1. And already you know what x2 gives me. X2 gives me what? First base vector. So simply this will be this. x6 gives me the second basis vector. X6 means this one, so this one must be 0 1 0, and x3 gives me the last basis vector, so that must be 0 0 1, right? And now if you want to calculate this position 1 by 3, so look here, 1 by 3 is the corresponding key column is 0 and key row is 2 by 3, so obviously it will become 1 by 3. Now look at here, 1 by 3, again same thing, 0 and minus 1 by 3, 0 divided by 1, so simply this will remain 1 by 3, right? And if you go for the last one, it will be 0 minus, so same thing, it will remain same 0. Okay, now if I am going to calculate this step, look at here, 5 by 3, so corresponding key row minus 1 by 3, corresponding key column 0, so simply it will become 5 by 3, no issue. Next, this one minus 1 by 3, if you look here, minus 1 by 3, corresponding key row is 2 by 3, corresponding key column is 0, so 0
minus
2
1
by
by
3,
3,
so minus 1 by 3. Next one is like again minus 1 by 3. Okay, now so minus 1 by 3, 0, minus 1 by 3 is 0 divided by 1, so minus 1 by 3, and look at the last one, it will be 0 0, and then you can see 0 minus 0 into 1, that is 0 by 1, so simply it will become 0. Right? Now we will try to find out our zj minus zj. So obviously in every step we will try to find out our
zj minus
our condition, optimality condition. If in any step we got all the non-zero values, we are going to stop over there. So look at this step. So if you look at here, you can see 4 by 3 plus 0 plus minus 1 by 3. So this is 1 1 minus 2, that is minus 1. Again I got one negative, right? Look at the next one. Look at the next one. So if you look at the next one, it will be 4 0 0. 4 minus 4 is 0. No issue, right? Look at the next one. This is 0. This is 0. This is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, right? Look at the next one. 4 into 1 by 3, that is 4 by 3. Then 0 plus 2 by 3. 4 plus 2 by 3 is 6 by 3. 6 by 3 means 2. 2 minus 1, that is 1, right? Next one is 4 by 3, 0 minus 1 by 3. So 4 by 3 minus 1 by 3, that is 3 by 3, that is 1. 1 minus 0, that is 1. Next one is like 0, 0 and 0 plus 0, so this will become 0. And look at the last one. Last one is like 0, 0 and 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. So we got only one negative value right now. Okay, now so we have to remove this negative value. So we can able to understand that this will enter into the system. Which one? X2. Sorry, X1 will enter into the system. So now we have to make sure that which value will go out from the system, right? So to find out this, we have to find out the ratio. So to find out ratio, we have to divide all our B's by this one. So 4 by 3 by 1 by 3. 4 by 3 by 1 by 3, that gives you 4. 5 by 3 by 5 by 3, that gives you 1. And this one we can't able to find out the value because it's a negative value. Okay, so which one is lesser? You can able to see one is the lesser value. So we are going to select this x6 over there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can able to understand this x1 will enter into the system and x6 will go out from the system domain, right? So now we have to go for the next table. So if I am going for the next table, it is not possible to complete it over there. So let's write it down like this one. So you can able to see. So x2 is all basis variable and it must be over there. So basis x2 must be there, right? X instead of x6, which one will enter? X1 will enter into the system. So simply this will become x1 and this is already x3. x3 already remains over there. Now corresponding to that basis variable, what are CB values? x2, x1 and x3. x2 is 4. Okay, now x2 is 4. The value of x2 is 4. So simply I am going to write down 4 over there. For x3 I know it is 1. Already 1 it was and for x2 x1 it is 2. For x1 it is 2.
2.
So all these three values I have written. Now
B.
while I have to write down b, okay na, and then what, x1 x2 x3 x4 x5 x6 and x7 that I have to do. And in the upper part, what I can able to do, upper side of b,
C.
I have to write down my c. I have to write down my c, and I know my c value. x2 x1 value is 2,
2.
x2 value is 4, x3 value is 1, x4 value is again 1, right? Again 1. The other values are 0, 0 and 0. Now in this step you can able to understand all these three variables which I have considered, all these slack variables leave the domain, right? The variable only left for the variable which we have previously, right? They left. So now to find out the next step, what I have to do, look here, which one is the my key element? 5 by 3 is my key element, right? So I have to divide the whole row by 5 by 3 and I have to write it down. So while write down divided by 5 by 3, you can able to see 5 by 3 by 5 by 5 by 3 by 5 by 3. That gives you 1, right? Now 5 by 3 will convert it to 1, 0 will remain 0, 0 will remain 0, 5 by 3 by minus 1 by 3. That gives me
-5.
minus 5. That is minus 5. Now this one is again minus 5. x6 was 1. So 5 by 3, 1 by 5 by 3, it will be nothing but 3 by 5. Right? And this one is again 0. So 0, 0 divided by 5 by 3. Okay now?
0.
0. Okay. While calculating, I have to divide minus 1 by 3 by 5 by 3. Na? Minus 1 by 3 by 5 by 3. So simply it will become minus 1 by 3
Minus
divided
1
by
by
5 by 3. So it will become minus 1 by 5 and minus 1 by 5. Right? Understand?
Yes.
So this is the my table. Now I know what. Look at my basis variable. x1 is, x2 is my first basis variable. That means x2 must give me this one 1 0 0. x1 is my second base variable, then that means it must gives me the second base vector. x3 is my third base variable, so that must be give me the third base vector, right? So understand this thing. So now we need to calculate this position value. So if you look here, it is 4 by 3 was the old value. Okay, 4 by 3 minus corresponding row value is 5 by 3, corresponding column value is 1 by 3. So 4 by 3 minus, so simply if we are to calculate, it will be 4 by 3 minus 5 by 3 into 1 by 3 divided by 5 by 3. These two get cancelled. So simply it will become 1. 4 by 3 minus 1 by 3, that gives me 1. So the value is 1. Understand? Similarly, if I want to find out this positional value, you can able to see this one is nothing but 5 by 3 minus corresponding key row element is 5 by 3, corresponding key column is minus 1 by 3. So in that case, minus minus it will become plus divided by 1. So 4 by 3 plus 1 by 3, that will gives me 5 by 3. So simply this will become 5 by 3 remains 5 by 3. Now I have to find out the other values. So if you look at x4, it was 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 minus corresponding key row element. So 1 by 3 minus corresponding key row element is 1 by 3 into corresponding key column element is minus 1 by 3. You can see key row element is minus 1 by 3 and key column element is 1 by 3 divided by 5 by 3. Right? So simply from here what I got, 1 by 3 minus, if you look here, 1 by 3 and 1 by 3 get cancelled. So simply it will become plus 1 by 15. Okay now? It will become 1 by 3 plus 1 by 15. So it will become 6 by 15. 6 by 15 means 2 by 5. So simply it will become 2 by 5. So this one value will become 2 by 5. Now look at here, 1 by 3. This one is 1 by 3 again. Corresponding is minus 1 by 3 and 1 by 3, the same value. So simply it will become 2 by 5. Now look at the next one. This is 0. So 0 minus 1 corresponding key row element, corresponding key column element is 1 by 3. So 1 into 1 by 3 divided by 5 by 3 minus 0 minus this, So simply what I am going to get, this 1 by 3, this 1 by 3 get cancelled, and I am going to get minus 1 by 5. So simply this value will become
minus 1 by 5.
minus 1 by 5. Now look at the x7 value, it was 0 again, so 0. Now corresponding key row element is 0, so 0 into this 0, so simply it will become 0. Right? No issue?
No.
Now I have to find out all these 4 values. Done. So 2 by 3, 2 by 3 was the old value. So if 2 by 3 was the old value, corresponding key row value is simply 2 by 3 minus corresponding key row is minus 1 by 3 into corresponding key column value is again minus 1 by 3, right, divided by key element is 5 by 3. Okay now? So simply what I am going to get,
9.
so 1 by 3 get cancelled, that is minus minus plus, so 2 by 3 minus, what we are going to get, 1 by 15, right? So simply it will become 10 minus 1 by 15, right? So 9 by 15, that means 3 by 5, right? So simply 2 by 3 will convert it to 3 by 5, and this minus 1 by 3 you can able to see, minus 1 by 3, here you got 1 minus 1 by 3 minus 1 by 3, so this 2 gives you plus, so 1 by 3 minus 1 by 3 minus, if whenever you multiply this 2 it will give you the plus value, right? So simply it is 1 by 3 into 1 by 3 divided by 5 by 3, so this get cancelled, so what you got, minus 1 by 3 minus 1 by 15, right? Minus 1 by 3 minus 1 by 15 is minus 2 by 5. Okay now? So simply this will be converted to minus 2 by 5. The next value is 0. 0 corresponding key row value is 1. And corresponding key column entry is minus 1 by 3. So 0 minus 1 into minus 1 by 3 divided by 5 by 3. Right? So minus minus it will become plus, and 1 by 3 1 by 3 get cancelled, it will become 1 by 5. Simply it will become 1 by 5. Right? Now look at the last one, it is 0, 1. So whenever it is 1, corresponding key row element is 0. Corresponding key column element is 1 by 3. So 0 into 1 by 3 is 0. So 1 minus 0 means 1. So this is our table.
Sir, 1 minus divided by 5 by 3 though.
So 0 divided by 5 by 3, it will become obviously 0. So this becomes 1, right?
Yes, sir.
So now if we come back to our this table, again we will try to find out what? Again we will try to find out our ZJ minus CJ. So we need our stopping condition badly, because already we have completed 3 tables, right?
Yes.
Or 4 table actually. So ZJ means you have to multiply this with this one. So if you multiply this 4 into 0, 0 plus 2 into 1, 2. So 0 plus 2, 2 and 0. So 2 minus 2, that is 0. Right? This one is 4 plus 0 plus 0, this 0. So 4 minus 4, it is again 0. This one is 1 minus 1. So this one will become 0. Look at here, 8 by 5. This one is minus 2 by 5. 8 by 5 minus 2 by 5 minus 6 by 5 plus 3 by 5. 9 by 5. 9 by 5 minus 1. 9 by 5 minus 1 is 4 by 5. 4 by 5. 9 by 5 minus 1. 4 by 5. Right? So next one is like 8 by 5 minus 2 by 5. 6 by 5 minus 2 by 5. Okay, now 1 into minus 2 by 5, that is minus 2 by 5. 4 by 5. Right? Now look at the next one, minus 4 by 5. Then plus 6 by 5. 2 into 3 by 5, that is 6 by 5. So 2 by 5 plus 1 by 5, that is 3 by 5. Right? And look at the last one, it will be 0 plus 0 and plus 1. So simply it is 1. So all ZJ minus CJ are now greater than or equals to 0. Now you got your solution. How you can able to understand you got your solution? So this B value which you are going to get, these are your solutions, right? So simply what you can able to do, you can multiply these two, 4 into 1 plus 2 into 1, 2 plus 1 into 5 by 3. That is 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 5 by 3, 18, 23 by 3. 18 plus 5, 23 by 3. So simply you can able to write down 23 by 3 over there, or else if you want to write down the point value, it will be, you can able to understand corresponding to the x1, that B value. Now B always your solution, right? B always represent your solution. So actually actually what we are doing, we are solving linear system of equation, and whenever we converted this to identity matrix, that B must be converted to our solution. So B becomes solution. So here in this case we can able to find out x1 is 1, our x2 is 1, and x3 value is 5 by 3. And now look, I have 4 variable x1, x2, x3, x4, but x4 variable is not there, so x4 value must be 0.
0.
Okay, and corresponding to that maximization of z value, that was considered like 2x1 plus 4x2 plus x3 plus
Plus
x4.
x4.
That was the mean maximization function. So what I have to do, I find out the point where the value will become maximum. So I have to put this point over there. So x1 equals to 1, so 2
2
into 1 plus 4 into 1 plus 5 by 3 plus 0. So that will be the value. So simply 2 plus 4, 6, 6 plus 5 by 3. Okay, now, so
23 by
simply
3.
it will be 23 by 3. So you can able to write it down from here also. Either you can do it like this way, or directly you will write down this is the maximization value. So your solution is like maximize z equals to 20 by 3. So from here you can also able to rewrite it. Okay, so this is the simplex method, and you can able to solve any problem like this way. Okay.
Thank you, sir.